the UNICEF team in New York. Thank you to AFRICOM-Net and to the Ghanaian government and other authorities who are here today. It's my honor and pleasure to be representing, is this better? Okay. My honor and pleasure to be representing the Communication for Development team in New York. I'm going to be presenting on behalf of Rafael Obregon, who is the chief of the Communication for Development team. Unfortunately, due to personal circumstances, he couldn't be here. He is on standby online in New York. Unfortunately, we're not able to connect with him. So I will make a presentation that he has written, the speech, and I will read it out for you on his behalf. We're a small team in New York, and that's partly the reason why he couldn't come. But taken together, UNICEF offices across the world, we're a very large Communication for Development team, and I have here with me colleagues from the Ghana UNICEF office, from Chad, and from our regional office in Senegal. So with that, I'll just start off with what Rafael has to say to all of you this morning. Rafael starts with saying, "Good morning. I would like to start by extending my sincerest apologies to the entire AFRICOM-Net team and to all participants for not being able to join this exciting gathering due to unforeseen personal circumstances. I was looking forward to being here as I did back in 2010 at the AFRICOM University meeting held in Kigali in Rwanda. I also would have loved having some red, the delicious Ghanaian dish, which I enjoyed many times a few years ago when I collaborated with Ghanaian universities on capacity development and health communication." And here, Rafael forgets to mention all the beer he had. A special word of thanks also to Charles Fakaire and Sophia Snega for their understanding, and to me for stepping in to share these remarks on my behalf. So Rafael starts by saying it is fitting that the theme of this year's practicum is making a case for health communication. We have indeed seen an increasing demand for demonstrating the impact of health communication strategies and interventions aimed at improving health outcomes. However, I would like to be somewhat provocative and definitely optimistic. I would argue that the case for health communication has been made. What have we learned? What do we need to do next? So instead, I would say we need to build on the lessons that we have learned and move towards a more systems perspective for health communication. So let me take a quick poll by show of hands and ask how many of you would agree with me. Okay, quite a few. I'm sure many of us have been asked at some point about the impact of communication strategies in improving development and health outcomes. A colleague asked me this question while on a field mission in a West African country a few years ago. I responded following a Freirean approach by asking a series of questions. Do you think that the remarkable achievement of reducing annual child deaths worldwide from 15 million in the 1990s to about 6 million today would have been possible without communication? Do you think that the progress made on changing norms about family size in many countries would have been possible without communication? Or, to bring up a more recent example, do you think that polio eradication in India would have been possible without communication? And so on, and I cited other examples. I will try to elaborate on why I think that the case for health communication has been made and share a few thoughts about where I think we need to increase our efforts today. I will highlight the centrality of communication in improving health outcomes, share lessons learned based on the evidence we have, and outline challenges and opportunities in translating this evidence into action.